Hebrews chapter 4 verse 12 says, "For the word of God is quick and powerful, and sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing even to the dividing asunder of soul and spirit, and of the joints and marrow, and is a discerner of the thoughts and intents of the heart." Right from the beginning, the power of the Word of God has been proactively, practically, and efficiently emphasized, demonstrated, and narrated in numerous ways. Life is about the Word. God is about His own Word. Creations are of the Word. As a matter of fact, orderliness and ordinances are basically of the Word. The elements such as the sun, the moon, and the stars follow the ordinances of the Word in their courses as given to them. If God had to reset the world, He will use His Word. All spirits are subject to the Word of God, the Creator. Hebrews chapter 4 verse 12 relates the efficacy of the Word of God with human beings using practical things to better our understanding. As a piercer, it is quick, powerful, it is sharp, it divides and discerns. These are many things the sword do. A bit of digression if you don't mind. The word sword, S-W-O-R-D, is pronounced sword, skipping the W in it. In the Bronze Age, sword was their ultimate weapon. No gun then. Swords were so much cherished as much as guns are today. Those who carried swords were called sworders, which are now called soldiers, the skilled warriors. Christians with godly sorrow are skilled warriors if they got the revelation of the Word of God. The prophetic grace on Samuel was by the revelation of the Word of God. Hebrews 4:12 gives us 3 ways the Word of God is effected in our lives. Number 1 is the dividing of the soul and spirit. The psalmist says, "Behold, I was shapen in iniquity, and in sin my mother conceived me." In the natural state, our spirit was dead, though still there. It is just like the ear of the deaf. It is there, but not functional. In that state, the spirit cleaves to the soul. The self in the person is dependent on the dictates of the flesh and submits to its demands. Sinfulness prevails. But as soon as the power of the Word is effected, it bleeds godly sorrow in the heart of man, and the end result is salvation. Therefore, dividing the soul and the spirit leads to salvation. It gives life to the spirit in man by the Spirit of God in His Word. Number 2, the dividing of the joints and marrow. In the marrow is the ability to make new blood cells. The life of the flesh is in the blood. The joints talk of the connecting systems of the body through nerves and sinews. Our wellness relies on the proper functioning of the systems. This is why all malfunctions in the body are analyzed in the blood work. The Word of God has the power to reset any disorder in the body systems and bring healing. Proverbs 4:20-22 says, "Give attention to the Word of God, for it is health to our body." And number 3, it is a discerner of the thoughts and intents of the heart. And this is a mysterious aspect of our existence. Jeremiah 17 verse 9 perfectly describes the heart of man, deceitful and desperately wicked above all. The only place you find the word desperately in the King James Version of the Bible is in its attachment to the wickedness locked up in the heart of man. That is, employing extreme measures to carry out the purported or premeditated wickedness or selfishness. In the same heart are terrible imaginations, plotting evils, satisfying the lust of the flesh. Man is in bondage of the infernal, and only the Word of God can bring deliverance. The Word of God is powerful, and it is a great weapon in spiritual warfare. Summarily, beloved, the efficacy of the Word of God wrought salvation, healing, and deliverance. With the world can be reset. With the word, life can be reset. Family and situations can be reset with the word. The crow of the cock says in Proverbs chapter 4, verses 20 to 22, "My son, attend to my words, incline thy ear unto my sayings. Let them not depart from thy eyes. Keep them in the midst of thy heart, for they are life unto those that find them, and health to all their flesh."